Hello world, PDR coming at you here. We got a really nice Tesla Model S. I think it's 2016 or 17. Doesn't matter, it's a Tesla, right? It's a beautiful car. It's got two, definitely manually, you know, nothing severe hit it, but I would have to say something, oh, hopefully I don't scratch it also. But something put some scuffs into this right there and this right there. So might have been two separate occurrences. One looks like it hit this direction and one looks like it hit this direction. I don't think they were a rock off the road. It could have been maybe this one, but I think what they were was something maybe falling in a garage or something, more than severity hitting at 50 miles an hour. So we're going to do what we can to give these guys some glue pullage and see what we can get out of it. Hopefully you guys have a good visual on it. You can always swoop around a little bit and get a different angle. We're out in nature, and that scuff really is a scratch in the paint. Bummer. And that one has some scratch in the paint, but some of the scuff came out. Still a bummer. Either way, we're going to be left with little scuffs in the paint, which will need the 2000 grit sand and polish from a professional detailer, but not this guy. So our job is just the dents, and I'm going to start off with the glue. I've got the glue puller all heated up. Yeah, I'm going to lay we don't have any wind right now. Let me scoot past the YouTube community and show you guys how warm it is out here. Hello. 83? Is that how hot this thing is? Yeah, I guess so. It's about 83 degrees on that. Sitting in the sun. Perfect temp for the Black Plague glue. I'm looking for my tabs. Let's get a large Keiko round and a medium Keiko round. Basically what I'd call a quarter and a nickel right there. And one of them I do believe is slightly larger. I'm going to put pretty much the same amount of glue on both of them, which is 80% of a pump. Let it cool, let it cool, let it cool. Drop it on perfectly. Let's get this one going too. I just switched sticks, so you always want to push your stick, little tip trick. Boom. Tip trick with the glue stick. See how hot that is? That is steaming. I gotta let that cool. I don't want to put 180 degree glue right onto paint. I'll make 2 or 3 pulls if I have to. So that one is almost ready to go. Let's get the lifter. Make sure my feet are all nice and clean. See, like, what's that? That's a piece of wax, no biggie. But if it was a little piece of metal shavings or something, we would be in big trouble. Just kind of sensing what it's going to do. I'm going to give it a nice solid pull. Bam. Almost perfect timing with that one. Straighten it up a lot. Hopefully my hat's not in the way. And this one, let's kind of do the same thing right at about the same time. My timing is almost the same on those two. 3, 2, 1. Pop. Did you guys hear that? That was that sounded like a BB gun. That sounded like a 22. Okay. A little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Pulls it right off. Oh, I should say, isopropyl alcohol, you flick it, and patience. Patience. Okay, because that's what gets it off. If you yank on it, you'll have this little piece of glue that I have right here, which this little piece was just from that dent popping and pulling so nice. Left that little residual. But now we can take a look at what we got. Oh, hello, boys and girls. We've got a little high. Well, actually not even a high right there. Almost just a flat, triple little small dent. This one I have a high ridge through the middle, and it was kind of a angled dent. Like I said, it came through this way. It wasn't a perfect circle. So what I'm going to do is tap down this high, throw a little tab in that one, come back to you guys in just a bit. Okay guys, we're back. I'm just ready to pull this one. Actually, let me just pull it for you real quick. And I still haven't tapped down anything. We're only about 15 seconds later. Little tiny tab I used there. Literally my smallest one. And I'm sure it didn't do much. Didn't feel like it did. Oh, actually it did. There was 3 little tiny dents there. Now there's 2. I can do that 2 more times. That dent will probably be really close to where I want it to be. And hopefully you guys can all hear me real well. My microphone is still on, and the tapping doesn't disrupt it too much. Excuse me. But like I always say, and like I told the customer on this one, it's not a perfect science, it's a craft, and hopefully that we'll get these dents out to where I call 90 to 95%. I never claim to get anything 100% perfect. It's just, especially on an aluminum hood, this thing is just your normal aluminum. It's got the aluminum tendencies, and if what that means to a dent guy is not a lot of give, it stays where you put it, it doesn't bounce back like steel does. It's got a little bit of different personality. Metal has kind of a personality when you move it. And yeah, instead of using the Shane Jacks hammer and slapping down a bunch of metal down here, I'm just gonna really dial in and find these highs. And smooth them out. So I wanted to bring you in for that pull. Let's actually make another one with that little tiny glue tab. It is tiny, guys. This thing is gonna burn my fingers. Well, huh. I knew it. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, I didn't push it down at all. I actually held it up, let the glue set and fall into the top of that thing. I'm going to give it a nice minute to dry, and maybe even give this thing some love in the meantime. Right here, I want to find where these lines start to pinch and break them open. '13 Tesla, by the way, guys. Oh, wifey was real close to over the shoulder there. Giving you guys some over the shoulder tappings. I'm dialing right in, and honestly, I know how smudgy that is. So let me make this pull right here. Little bit of a pull. So I tell you what I'm going to do here, guys, is we're going to tap down this, make a couple more pulls, and we will come back to you guys in just a bit. Okay guys, we're back. We made a couple pulls here, we made a couple pulls here. This is still a little bit high spot right here, and I'm going to start tapping it down. And excuse me, at this point in the video is when I do want to say, I sure do appreciate everybody that clicks on this video and has made it through to this point. I'm looking right about there. You see how it just kind of, that black line wants to show up on the other side of that valley? Well, it starts to show up right about there. That's kind of intricate stuff, guys. That's banging on the inside of the dent on an aluminum hood, showing you that inside of the valley right there. And why am I doing it and why am I hitting so hard? Because those lines are straightened out, and I have to have those straightened out before I make another pull. They're almost there. Now the sun's coming out, warming up the panel a little bit. Looking like a fairly nice day. This right here looks pretty good. I'm going to want to make a pull here and a pull here. Still want to make a little bit of a tap right where this line starts to pinch on my side of it. And then a little bit more right where it pinches in the middle right there. And if you can hear that sound, just changed. That last hit just changed it. High pitched, dropping into low pitch right here. If you can hear that sound break, that's the dent coming out. That's the back of the dent breaking. There's some very in-depth stuff right there. When I say the back of the dent, that dent had a back line, the body line to it that was just stiff and held in. Basically what we have to do is break its back, cross over that line so it flushes out and smooshes out and flattens out. Otherwise it's just going to keep on getting more and more creased and go backwards. And if anybody has done dents for 3 years, they've seen a dent go backwards and get worse. So definitely that's what we're avoiding here by making sure we've got it all tapped down. And honestly guys, need be, I take 5 minutes and I take off a little liner underneath the hood. I get in there with my tools and I get the rest of the dent out lickety split. So that might be what we have to do after we get him down to this little bit of a pocket. But for now, let's just make a couple more taps right on the tail end of that. This one actually might be a little longer of a video. Let's make a cross-check angle. So if I look at it with a completely different angle, maybe down, and I just kind of sit right here and look up at it. Okay, it doesn't give me what I need. It does show me that there's, but if you see why I was at that angle right there, it's because those two dents are at that angle, and this one is actually this one is a little bit more of the angle that I'm at. So I can lift this board up, bring it a little closer. Obviously the smaller dent is a lot closer to being out. So I'm pretty much focused on this one right here. And what I'm seeing now when I look in the fog is it's not really crested yet, or anymore. Got this last little bit right here. Now these are some pretty severe hits, guys, but you see right there that tightening out, and we're almost in business. There. Okay guys, we are back. It's been a while. We got the hood torn apart, propped open. Basically it just had these sluffer plugs. I call them sluffers because these side things slough out and back. Self-holding plugs. If you look into what we got left, we've got these two little lows right there, and that little weird triangular low with a tail, kind of looks like a spade coming off of there. So what I'm going to do is grab number one and take the dents out like a PDR guy. And I will say again, I sure do appreciate you guys clicking on the video and sticking with me through this. Now this one is actually underneath a brace, so it might be a little bit different. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, I see where I am. I'm at this dent right here, and I'm going to work towards the window of the Tesla. So let's go like this. I know you guys probably don't have the angle that I have, but half of it is done. And since it's aluminum, I push it up till where I know it's flat. It comes back and sits a little lower because it only stays where you push it. And then it does kind of bounce back. It has a little bit of a flex, but I wouldn't say it's a memory. I would say it's more like a stubbornness. Steel has a memory, kind of flexes around and bounces to where it wants to be. Aluminum has a stubbornness. It just sits there until you push it and won't move until you push it harder. So it's a little bit different of a metal. I'm going to change my angle here. Back to our original angle that we had. And I might even do this, guys. Spin the board around. So I've got, do you have a better angle there? Better visual? Okay. Because that way I can see it in the fog. This is, I don't know what that is. It looks like a little piece of, it wasn't our dent. There was our dent. Oh, it could have been a little, who knows? It could have been a Paintless Dent Repair. It does look like some pushes were made here. Could have been poor prior Paintless Dent Repair right here, guys. So we might even, I mean, that's just what it looks like. They did a decent job. I'm not knocking them. But if you can see it when you're done, then it's still there. I mean, it took a while for me to notice that other little line. I didn't know what it was. But now I'm starting to see right where I want to push. Boom, boom. And then obviously up here, we haven't even worked yet. But to work up there is going to be nice and neat because it's wide open. This one had a little piece of glue, and I actually had to get in there and cut the glue. And since it's so tight, I'm going to switch to my little baby twisty. And just dial right in. This is where the magic happens on the little guy. Starting to look nice. There we go. I went towards the back first, as far away from me as possible, so I could just basically drag the tool up until it slips out. Because I'm under the brace with the elbow of the tool, and I get it to flat, I release it, it drops back down. Got to make almost kind of a high push. Don't want to make any highs, just because it's aluminum. Don't want to have to tap them back down, but we definitely do what we got to do. So I'm right there in the center of it, a little bit more, and pretty soon on this one we will be to that point that there will be nothing to do, which is when I know I have to stop, right? Once the dent's flat, I can stop. It looks like I was actually lifting the hood there just a teeny bit. I got it to the 90% mark. I'd like to get it to 95. So let's keep working on that one just a little bit longer, and then we'll dive into the big one and finish off the big one. Back to back, 2 dents, back to back, the 2-time dent doer. Yep, now I'm seeing the rest of my dent right here. So, let me finish this one off. I am kind of struggling to find my spot in this glue, and once I do, we'll make the right pushes right there. That brings it out. Now we're at that 92, 93, 94. As we make a push, we make a percentage mark. Once I get it nice and flushed out, yeah, we're definitely right there at that level of quality that you want to be. Very nice car for a very nice person. We're going to do a very nice job. And I think that one came out super nice. When we pulled off the board, we won't even see that. I know it's got a little wave to it right here, which I will tap on. But meantime, let's get on this one. I'm going to go back to my other angle that I had. Just because this dent is an actual different angle. And I want to go right up over it and look down into it. I don't know if that is a tip or trick or not, but to be able to see right into that low, deep valley, and to see, honestly, when I'm still tapping right here, it looks like it just kind of shaves off this edge right here. So I got to cut that edge off. I got to round that edge out before I start pushing. Not as much as if I was going to glue pull. I'd basically have to put it all the way back into a round dent. Let me take a sip of the coffee. And get my #1 tool. I might even get my new tool on this one. This is the new dual bend dent craft with the R4 tip. I'm looking that I have full access. And now we're gonna, if you guys want to see what we're doing down here, hang an S hook, maybe hang another one, and let's see if the R4 will fit through this. It will. Now let me scoot around, come right around here, show you the leverage. Actually, I'm going to use the very first hook. Say goodbye to the second hook. Thank the birds for not doing anything mean to us on their flight over the car. And get right on this one. Let's see if you guys can see what I'm looking at here. It's right there. Now this is the kind of access I like. Almost makes me feel a little dumb, like I should have just done this from the start. If anybody wants to know why am I not getting it super hot, because it's already about 80 degrees, the metal, 70 to 80 degrees right now with the sun on it, and it's aluminum. The aluminum makes the metal move really funky, and it heats up quicker than the paint. So for me, it's a little bit easier just to work on the straight aluminum in a nice 74 degree day, 80 degree panel, and just take the dent out as I'm doing here. Actually, I was gonna pull my tool out, but if you see what I'm gonna do here, guys, I'm gonna let it hang carefully. And now I'm gonna really get a good angle. So this is when the dent starts to come out. Oh, I'd like to say all the way, but not yet. We do have that high brow through it. And I'm gonna get right down underneath it, take a look-see, and take the rest out. I'm kind of sliding, my foot is kind of slipping. Excuses. Oh, let's see. Let's put the microphone out on this side of the car. And I will say thank you to everybody that's left comments. We sure appreciate it. We reply to all of them. And if you guys want to leave a like or a thumbs up on this one, we'd sure appreciate it. A like and a thumbs up, that's the same thing. Trigger those bells, share the content with everybody you know. Add me on your Facebook. Just kidding. Okay, let's finish this last little low out. And I know you guys are wondering right now, why am I still pushing if it looks like it's high? Because it's a high ridge right next to a low valley. And if I start tapping on that high ridge, the low valley is just going to get worse. So now is one of those times that you actually have to keep pushing before you tap. I pull the tool out completely because I'm going to be tapping, and I don't want that tool sitting there shaking. And you know, we've got this little tiny high brow right here, a little tiny push to make, and this little tiny brow right here I'm going to tap down, probably spend about 5 or 10 minutes doing. So what I'm going to do is come back and show you guys the end result in just a bit. Okay guys, we're back. Here's what we ended up with. If you look at it in the clouds, I think one of the dents was around here and one of them was around here. Let's shine a little boardy on it. I will say that right here where this touch-up paint is, and a couple of little weird pushes, is not me. So my work was, ooh, right around here, a little tiny wave. And I think the dent came out to about 95%. Came out the way I wanted it to. Pretty darn nice. Hope you guys like sticking around through this longer of a video. It was quite a fun job. I always like working on Teslas. And I'll show you what we do to, that's how I basically braced it open as I use my thing, because there's nowhere to really clip onto unless you know the little trick to do it onto this thing. And I didn't want to do that because it's an electronic hood opener. So, right there. And what we got is this. Tesla's nice hood cover mat that only goes over the bottom one. Sits right up on here, and the first ones that I do are always going to be this one and the farthest one down here, which is usually this one. I'm not even leaning into the car, in case you're wondering. Looking for that hole. Making sure it's there. Where are we at here? That one in. And it's going to be right there. There. And there is a reason why I do cross corner top to front to back, because then all the rest of them tend to line up a lot better when you do the two farthest ones in corner first, and it just makes it real nice and easy to find the holes on the last one. You saw it was kind of a struggle to find that first hole, just because I had to make sure they lined up properly. These are nice plugs. You just boom, find the hole, pop it in there, give it a nice push. So guys, I'll put those rest of those plugs back in. Looks like we got about 9 of them left. So, let's see what we got. Looking good. I think I want to give it a little buff and wash away out my little circle marks from my suction cup, and then some of my little tap marks, a couple little smudge marks from my face. But other than that, I sure liked creating this video, and I hope you guys liked watching it. Hit that like on the way out if you could. Other than that, this has been PDR, and I'm out. Peace.